getting the flags from our Mr. Robot CTF, and we had been able to get one of the flags, and we had also seen that there was a WordPress interface which we were trying to access. We were trying to log into that, but we were cracking the password, and of course, that's a bit of a lengthy process. So, did any of you try to crack that password on your end? No? Okay. So, basically, what I did was this WP scan. I was using this tool to crack the password, specified the URL. Just a moment. You're not able to find something with open ports. Oh, what system are you trying the scan on? PC. Okay, so maybe there's a firewall blocking your scans, probably. That's something, or maybe you need to disable the ping if it's not responding to your pings. Why don't you try practicing on the systems that I show you in class? Because on systems on your network, whether you will find something or not depends on the configuration. Okay, so on a PC, again, there should be some open ports, of course, but you might be being blocked, or maybe it might not, Nmap might not be getting a response to the ping, so it stops the scan, does not continue further, because ping works on ICMP, which might be disabled on your system, as is the case with a lot of modern systems actually. So either you try without the ping, disable the ping, that could work. Okay, so with Mr. Robot, what we were doing is we specified the URL, specified the username. The password list is, of course, our fsociety or fsociety.dic file. And okay, password attack also I need to specify. So, okay, what I've done is I have added the password within the first few words itself. So scan should not take a long time. Okay, so we have already found the password, and the password is this ER280652. So the combination is Elliot along with this password, which will allow us to log into the WordPress CMS. So let's try logging in. So Elliot is the username. Password was this, the same password that we received there, ER280652. Okay, so now entering that password has given us access to the WordPress dashboard because this is an admin account. Okay, and we can now make any kind of changes that we want to the entire website. So now this is a similar step to what we performed in the previous CTF. So can anyone tell me what I'm going to do next? This is similar to what we've done previously. No, changing the themes. Yes, modifying one of the pages so that we can get a reverse shell. So let's quickly get the reverse shell code from that website, pentest monkey PHP reverse shell. Okay, so from the GitHub page you can get this code. Okay, so reverse shell.php. You just need to copy the entire thing, and then you just need to go to appearance editor. And okay, now I have to be careful as to what I edit here. Like the previous case, I cannot edit the single post portion because if you go to the blog itself, this page, there are no posts here. Okay, there is no post that is present. So either you create a post and then edit the single post page, or simply what I can do is I can also edit this main index template. So I can work on this. I can simply edit this if I want to. So instead of going to the single post, I'll go to this main index template. Another option actually that I have is the 404 template. So the page you get when there is an error, so error 404, page not found. If you specify an incorrect address, you will get the error. If you specify a web page, a web page that is not present on the website, then you get error 404, page not found. So either you can edit that or you can edit the main index template. So let's say I want to edit this. I simply select all of this, replace it with the reverse shell code, and there's just a couple of values that I need to modify. So since this is a reverse shell, it needs to connect back to my system. So I need to give it my IP. Okay, that is the IP. The post, sorry, not post, the port, you can specify any port that you want, but make sure that you don't use a port which is used by common services like DNS or HTTP or something. Just use a random port. Let's say use 7777. Okay, so it's a random port. And after you've made all the changes, click on update file. So file edited successfully. Now I need to go to my terminal and I need to open a listener on my system using netcat vp. And okay, these four options, N is to tell netcat is that we don't want any kind of reverse DNS resolution. L is to specify that I want to open a port for listening. V is to make the output more verbose, to give us more details in the output. And P is, okay, to specify what port I want to open. So that port is this, the one that we specified in the reverse shell code. So 4 sevens, just press enter. Now, okay, it tells me that it is listening for any incoming connections on this port. Okay, so this connection is open. Now I can try to get a reverse shell connection. So I'll go to the user's blog. Now, since this is not really the WordPress part, I'll need to go to the WordPress main page, which is accessible by this 0. Okay, so now the actual page that should show up isn't visible here. So that means we probably got a reverse shell. And okay, if I come back here, we have a reverse shell. Okay, good. So our PHP reverse shell code worked, and we have a shell connection from our system to the target. Now I can make use of this. I have access to that system. Now, what is the first thing that I should do here? Getting root access is the end goal, definitely, but that's not the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm not going to directly get root access. There are a few things I'll need to do before that. First thing I need to do here is to get a better shell, so proper shell. So I use Python for that. I use this one Python. And okay, we have upgraded to a much better shell, but still we are not logged in as a root or even as a proper user. We are just as a system daemon. So system service. Now we already have one flag, okay, but there are a total of 3. So we have 2 flags left to collect on this system. And of course, our priority is to get those flags. So let us just do a quick check. We are in the main directory. These are all the directories present there. So what should I check now? What should I do to look for any flags present in the system? What do you think should be the first step here? No responses at all. No. Okay. So the first thing I should try to do is I should try to look into the home directories for users. see if I can find some files there which might allow me some kind of access, or let's say even allow me to escalate my privileges and get a better foothold into the system. So where are the home directories for users? In what directory are they located? See, user directories, all the home directories for users are located within this home. So let's go there. Let's go into home. Let's see what we have here. So there's a total of just one user directory, so named robot. So this is also signifying that okay, there is a user account within a robot on the system, and it might be possible for us to gain access to this account. We don't know yet, however, but that we'll try. Let's see. Let's see if we can access this directory, and okay, we should be able to access it once we come under others and we have execute permissions on the directory. So that means we should be able to access it. Now, okay, we are able to enter this users directory. Let's see what if we can find any interesting files here. And okay, look at that. We have the second flag here. But if I try to read it, will I be able to do that? Let's check. Nope. Permission denied because only the robot account has read permissions on this file. Everyone else has no permissions. But there is another file that we can look at, this password.rawmd5. Let's check this out. Okay, so it contains a line, contains something. Let's look at it. So it says robot colon and there's some kind of a password, or it might be a hash. I don't know, but we can copy this entire thing. So if this is a hash, what format is it in? The answer is already there. You just have to look at it. What format is this password or this hash in?
Hexadecimal?
No, no, it's not. I mean, it's in hexadecimal, but that is correct. But what function has been used to create it? How has it been calculated? Because see, if I need to crack it, I need to know that. See, hexadecimal is right. That's the format. But what algorithm has been used to create this value? No. Okay, it's a hash. We know that it's a hash, and it's in MD5. Okay, it's right there. It's in the file name itself. Now what I can do is I can try to crack this, but of course on my system, not on this device. So I'll come back to my terminal. Okay, I'll come back to a terminal on my system. I'll just create a new file with Nano itself. So password, let's just name it password. Paste this value and exit, save. Yes. So now I have this file saved. What tool can I use here to crack it? Or what options do I have when it comes to cracking this password hash? See, actually, there are a couple of options. You have Hashcat, you have John the Ripper. For this purpose, actually, John the Ripper would work very well. John, password. Okay, we know it's MD5, actually raw MD5 from the file name earlier. So I can specify this option, cancel it. I can specify this format is equal to raw MD5, and I can also give it a word list. Let's see what word lists. Yeah, actually, word list is equal to. Okay, one of the word lists is fast track dot text. Let's see. This is a small word list, so if it finds it there. No password hashes left to crack. Okay, just give me one moment. Okay, the thing is, this particular value is still in. Actually, the hash value is still in the cache for John the Ripper. I just need to delete that file, the cat file, the cache file for John. So what I'll do is simply remove this because we want to actually want it to work and crack this file. Okay, it's saying it's done, but it did not find the hash in this file. So maybe we'll try another word list. Okay, what's the most popular word list in Kali Linux or any kind of pen testing OS? What's the most popular word list that we have? No, no takers for this one. rocku.txt is the most popular word list, especially when it comes to CTFs, and it is loaded by default on Kali and ParrotOS and such similar pen testing systems. Okay, so do is show two left. Okay, but it's already given us the answer here, so I don't know why it's saying two left. Okay, it's telling us that you need to specify this format as well. No worries, we can do that. Okay, so this is the password, which is simply the entire English alphabet. I'll just copy this better than typing the entire thing. Now we know that this robot account has the password of ABCD, okay, A to Z, the entire thing. So I can simply switch to that account now. So SU switch user for and robot, the name of the account. This is the password. And you see here we have robot at the rate Linux. So we are now logged in as this robot user. If you want, you can also verify using who am I. Now, since this robot user has read access to this file, we should be able to read the key file now. Okay, so this is the output of the file, which is our second key, or you could say our second flag for the system. So we have grabbed two out of three of the total flags here, or keys in this case. Doesn't matter what you call them as long as we find them all. Okay, so two of the keys have been found already. Now there's just one remaining. Where do you think this last key would be located? Any guesses? Okay, what is the ultimate goal for when you are trying to hack into a system? What are you trying to do? What is your ultimate goal for having full control over a system?
to get the root access.
Yes, to get the root access. So, if the ultimate goal is to get root access, then it probably makes sense that the third flag or the final flag would be in the root directory, because only the root user can access it. Okay, if you perform ls-l and you see this root directory, if you see the permissions, only the root user can access this directory. Others cannot even go inside it. So that is probably where our third key is. I say probably because, of course, since currently we are out of this directory, currently we cannot access it. So there is no way to tell for sure. So our next task is to perform privilege escalation and gain access to this root directory. So let me first try out sudo hyphen l to check whether we have any sudo permissions on the system or not. As a robot account, we are checking it. So we need the password and we paste it here. Okay, so it says user robot may not run sudo on Linux. Okay, so that did not pan out. We will not be able to run the sudo command on this system as the robot user. So that is out of the question. Like in the previous CTF in basic PT, we use sudo to get a shell as root, but we are not allowed to use sudo in this case. So that method won't be possible in this case. So we'll have to look for another way to get root privileges. Now, what we have done is that sudo thing, it did not pan out, and there are no files as well in our directory that could allow us any kind of access to the root user. So what else can we try here? Any ideas? Okay, no problem. There is a concept of set UID files. Okay, now what that means is set UID actually it stands for set user ID on execution. Now it is a special kind of file permission for Linux files which allows users to run files with escalated privileges. What that means is if there is a file with a setuid permission on it, then that file, whenever it is executed, it will run with the privileges of the owner of the file and not with the privileges of the user account that is actually executing that file. Okay, is this clear? Okay, so what that means is if we are able to find a file in this system that does have this setuid permissions and is owned by root, we might be able to run that file, and since it has setuid permission, when it executes, it will run with the privileges of the root account. So we might be able to get that file to do something which would give us root access within this system. So in order to do that, we need to first try and find such files. So what command would I use for that purpose? to look for files of a particular type.
So find slash hyphen name something else.
Find, yes, the find command I'll use. Okay. Now, what options you use with find, of course, that depend on your situation, but you're correct that we use the find command. So the find command, the first thing I need to specify is where to look. Okay, where to start looking. Now we want to cover the entire system because we don't know where such a file might be located. So we'll just look in the entire system. If I was just looking in a particular directory, I would specify the name of that directory here, or if I'm looking for the current directory, I can just use find dot, but we'll specify this find, yeah, and this forward slash to denote that we need to look for these files within the main directory which covers the entire system. Now we need to tell it what parameters we want to use. So now the thing is, I only want to look for files which specify my criteria. In other words, I only need to look for files which have that set UID bit set. So which have the set UID permission as part of their file permissions. If you don't specify any condition and just directly run this command, it's going to give you a list of all files on the system. So don't do that. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, we need to specify that. So the next thing I need to say here is hyphen PERM for permissions. I'm trying to specify what permissions I'm looking for. And again, hyphen U is equal to S, because we are looking for files which have the set UID bit set in the user permissions, in the owner permissions. So U is equal to S specifies that, conveys that. Now I could just run this, and no, actually I need to also specify something else. Hyphen type. We are just looking for files, not directories. Directories don't have this kind of thing. Now I could just run this command and I'd get the results, but the issue is, since I'm not root, I will not be allowed access to a lot of directories within this system. So I'm not going to directly run this. There is another thing that I'm going to specify, just this to redirect to dev null. Now, is anyone aware of what this means? See, what I'm trying to do is, I mentioned that I'll get a lot of errors since I'm not robot, since I'm not root, I'm just as logged in as a robot user. So there are a lot of directories which I'll not be allowed to access. So I might get a lot of errors when I try to access those directories. So I need to specify that to, as in the output code, the code for any errors, direct all errors towards this null device. Okay, null device, what it is, it's basically, you could say, it's a file, it's a system file which discards any data that is written to it. So I don't want to see the errors on the screen. I want to just discard them. So I'll redirect all the errors. I'm also using this redirect operator, and I want to just discard those errors. I don't want to see them on the screen. Otherwise, the errors are longer list than the actual search results in our case. Now this command is complete. I can press enter and I'm seeing some results on the screen. Okay, so these are all the results that we have gotten, which means that all the files that are mentioned in these results, these have their setuid bits set. Uh, okay, these all have the setuid permissions within them. So what do you think? Should we would we be able to use any of these files for this purpose? See, all of these ping umount, mount, ping, switch user, password, new group, all of these files, these are all system files. So they cannot be exactly used for this purpose. Same goes for this last one. But if you notice, there is this nmap present here, which is also having its setuid bit. So it also has the setuid permissions. Now, if I go within this directory, or if I just, let's say, take a look at the permissions for this, see the setuid permission itself is not enough. We also need that file to be owned by root, because like I mentioned earlier, a file with a setuid permission, when it is executed, it runs with the privileges of the file owner. So unless it is running with the privileges of root, it is not of any use to us. So let's check the file permissions here and try to figure out whether it's going to be useful or not. Okay, so setuid bit is represented by an S in place of the X in the user permissions. Okay, so keep that in mind. And we can see that the file owner is root. So that means even if I am running nmap, I'm not root, but nmap is going to run with root privileges, regardless of what user is running it. So the question that arises now is how to use nmap to get some kind of root access to the system. That is the question now. If I just run nmap, let's see what I get. Okay, so I get the help menu. And it's quite compact, you know. If I run nmap on my system, the menu that opens up is, you know, much different, because you can see the current version that I have is 7.8 and this version is 3.81. Okay, so this is quite old. So having such an old version of nmap, that definitely means that okay, we are supposed to use nmap to perform our privilege escalation, because there's some functionality within nmap that will help us do that. Okay, so we'll stop here for the day.